Well, with the summer starting to wind down, we've got the winter squash that is really doing well this summer. And unfortunately, we are getting into the position of, well, we're eyeballing that first frost date. Now, here in the upper Midwest, northeast Iowa, usually our first frost date is right around the 1st of October. If we're lucky, we can maybe stretch it out to the 2nd. But at this point, we get into our vegetable gardens trying to figure out how much more we can do to help the vegetables start maturing and get to their proper size-wise. Now, the butternut squash has been doing absolutely wonderful this year, and I just want to kind of give you a quick picture of what we got going here for us. We've got some beautiful butternut squash that's in here, and it's doing very, very well. And what I'm trying to do now is figure out how I can help this squash along a little bit more so that it can mature, develop, and even though we get the cooler temperatures, the squash can handle that cooler temperature, but the vine itself, at any type of a light frost, will probably not make it. So this is what I want to show you guys, what you could probably do in your garden if you got squash on the vine. Now, this is the upper Midwest, okay? So now we only got about 5 weeks left. And we're sitting thinking about, okay, so if we can go ahead and prune a little bit of our vine off at the end to stop that stuff from taking off and going and using its energy in the vine purposes, let's just go ahead and let's just maybe prune off some of the leading vine and shoot some of that energy back into that squash so that that squash can go ahead and start developing and start maturing a lot quicker. Now, with 5 weeks, if there's anything on the vine that is just beginning to develop, it's just not going to make it. So we're going to help what's on the vine so that it can shoot the sugars and all the other stuff back into that butternut squash and make it a successful year. So this is what we're going to do. I'm only going to do it on a couple of the vines and give you guys an idea of what you can do with your squash if you've got something like this going on. But as we can see here now, we're still going ahead and we're still got the leader vines here. But we want to go ahead and stop the strength from keep going into this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to prune it off about right here. Now that will start telling this vine, okay, I need to start working on what's on my vine and start taking care of business up that way. So we're going to go here. There's another great big long one. Now look at this beautiful squash I've got growing right here. Now these are the guys that we want to go ahead and start giving a little bit more attention to. Still a little green yet, but we got 5 weeks, and 5 weeks will be just enough to help it along. Now mind you, help it along to get these things to where we want them to be is we want to go up to this end of this vine here and stop it from producing any more vine on the head end here. So we're going to get this right next to down to this leaf right here, stop the growth here, and start telling this plant, okay, these butternut squash need some more help. Let's get it taken care of before this light frost hits. So these are the things that we have to kind of take care of in the upper Midwest because the growing seasons are so narrowly compact. And it just seems like we started videos here in March, and here we are. Well, we're in the last week of August right now. I mean, like I said, first week in October, you're shooting about 4 or 5 weeks away now for our first, and it's pretty faithful. And if we get anything any sooner than that, that's very unusual, and I hope to goodness that doesn't be the case. So, Jeff from northeast Iowa, this is a kind of a nice little tip for you guys out there that are growing squash, pumpkins, whatever the case may be. If you got anything on your vine here and you're in the upper Midwest, do a little pruning on those vines to start helping a little bit more energy to shoot back into what you've got on the vine. So give me a thumbs up. I think it's good information. Subscribe, and this is the home of our B&B, so we'll be using a lot of these fresh vegetables at our breakfasts, but not the squash. That'll be used for us at supper time. So Jeff here, have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you later.